Howdy, howdy. Welcome back to another episode of We Talk Sports presented by WeTV. I'm the host, as usual, Dom Ciani, and joining me today are, of course, my co-hosts, Jacob Pendergraph and Owen Fleming. Welcome, guys, to another episode of We Talk Sports. This time we're going to be doing NFL free agency, and yeah, we're going to take two on this one, so interesting. Why are you staring at me like that?
Well, it's sad that we lost such a great episode to time,
Yeah.
but we're gonna give it our best shot here.
Yep,
It's
we're
gonna be twice as nice.
twice as nice, and we
Yeah.
still we got
Episode so nice, we had to do
We
it
had to
twice.
do it twice.
time
Yeah.
to do it twice. But we obviously still have some more news to talk about with NFL free agency. Obviously, Kirk Cousins
Kirk goes 2 chains to the Raiders.
Signing-
Shout out that man's
signing-
agent, bro.
signing with the Las Vegas Raiders
On the fakest 5-year deal.
5-year
I've
deal,
ever
but it
seen.
turns out it was like a million.
It's a 1-year deal.
1 year, like a $3 million
Bro,
deal.
he's already got a bag from Atlanta.
Well, that they wrote it that way to avoid offsetting his Falcons money.
Yeah.
So it's some workaround where the Falcons are still paying him, and the Raiders are paying him.
the Falcons are paying the Raiders quarterback.
Yeah, essentially.
Essentially, I mean that's what the Dolphins are doing with Tua. So.
Yeah.
Tua turned the ball over.
Nah. Jeez.
Falcons just paying everybody at this point.
Well, the Falcons, I don't know what they're doing.
They're paying everybody except their own
Except they're
players.
good, except good players.
They're good players. But speaking,
It's gotten
of,
to the point. I'm sorry, Dom. I'm sorry to interrupt
no,
you.
you're good.
But I think Kirk Cousins' agent could get me a starting quarterback job. in the
Maybe,
At least a bag.
maybe
At
just
least a bag.
At least
though.
a practice squad.
Yeah.
a top dollar practice squad bid.
Yeah.
But speaking of those teams, let's actually start off with our team, Owen, the
Mhm.
Carolina Panthers,
Mhm.
which had in my opinion, a really solid free agency. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was pretty great. I mean, we addressed most of our needs. We got a new linebacker in Devin Lloyd, who is the middle linebacker one on most boards, I would say, coming
Yeah.
off an All-Pro year. And then we got Jalen Phillips for 5 years, $30 million a year. So a lot to pay for an edge rusher. But we haven't had anyone there since we traded Brian Burns who could actually make an impact.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it'll be an interesting signing for sure. You just got to hope he stays healthy.
And I hope he stays healthy. I mean, that's just that's a high reward, high risk type situation there with Jalen Phillips. 120 mil with 80 million guaranteed. It might be a little steep, but I think that it could pay off. I think Phillips has the potential of being the star pass rusher that he can be. Devin Lloyd, the best linebacker on the market. Actually, the one that I think was just mainly on the target board for Carolina.
Yeah.
They landed him, and
It honestly was cheaper than I thought it would be.
cheaper, yeah, really team-friendly deal, 3-year deal, $45 million. So, but I think the most impactful one, maybe not for the team, but
sure.
for my beloved Pitt, Kenny Pickett signing with the Carolina Panthers.
QB1, Kenny Pickett.
I wouldn't say that, but I manifested
would.
I'm sure you
in
would.
what is it, my junior year of high school. I wanted Kenny Pickett on the Panthers. That didn't happen.
No.
I
But
think-
now you're in your junior year of college.
and now he's on the team.
Pickett's on the
And he's here.
It
Panthers.
is. It took 4 years later, but look what has.
I did argue for us to
Dom
draft him back in the
Ciani for
day.
Panthers GM.
Ahead of the curve of Dan Morgan.
Time the curve for Dan Morgan. Dan Morgan was like, He saw me post something on Instagram.
I
a
gotta
while
bring this
back.
guy in.
He's like, maybe I need to
Yeah.
sign this guy.
I need
But
to listen to him.
I ultimately think it was a very good free agency. My one critique would be I wasn't that thrilled with bringing Nick Scott back for another year at safety. I do
Yeah.
think there might be some room to upgrade there. But ultimately, I think they spent the money they had pretty well. We'll just have to see if the upgraded defense can actually matter. And maybe they'll add
And
some
your
more
upgraded
offense
O-line.
in
Are
the
you
help.
kidding?
What?
Luke Fortner, Stone Forsythe,
Well,
and Rasheed Walker, bro. That's
I mean,
that's
Rasheed Walker, that was
Rasheed
a
Walker,
good
that-
signing
that was
because
a steal.
Icky tore his patellar tendon in the playoffs. He's
Mhm.
probably going to be out for the year. But Rasheed Walker's a solid starting left tackle, and he got signed for like $5 million.
Yeah.
$5 million on a
on a
starting.
one-year deal for a starting.
Yeah.
That O-line.
Well, I will say,
Not much getting through that.
Stone Forsythe was the worst tackle in the league last year. So as long as he doesn't play, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with training camp, a lot of these signings could, end up not mattering, especially the 1-year deals, because those are just for depth until they're like, this
John
guy's
Mechie.
John Mechie, but I think John Mechie could really help out the receiving core.
Yeah.
AJ Dillon.
Yeah, Dillon, the
Quadzilla.
quad father, bro,
Yeah.
for that running back depth. I think
Yeah.
that could.
With losing Rico Dowdle.
With
you
losing
you have
Rico
to explore
Dowdle.
your other options. I was really sad.
I was too.
But I think overall the Panthers did
Yeah,
pretty well.
I'd give this free agency an A.
Yeah, I would too. I would say they get a solid A. So, but now moving on to Jacob's Commanders,
Do I get to do my monologue again?
if you want to.
Okay. So
He has it memorized.
I do have
Okay.
All right. So when the free agency starting period opened up, everybody expected Washington to kind of be one of those teams where they're in a spend the money now for the love of God situation. And to be honest, they were right. There were a lot of things that needed to be improved on. Running
Like the
back
quarterback
depth.
room.
Let's get better.
A lot of things that could be
Is that
improved on.
Marshawn Lattimore?
They cut him.
I'm gonna.
Not on the
did cut-
team
We
anymore.
cut Sean.
Sean?
We cut him. But there were a lot of things that could have been improved on. Running back room, receiver room. The D line was had some room to be desired. There was a lot of room for improvement. And when free agency started, one team you didn't hear a whole lot from was Washington. Until like day 2, when we signed Odafe Owe for like $100 million. And then we were like, okay, he's cooking. And then we signed Rashad White and Leo Chanel. And I was like, okay. We're heating up a little bit. And then we did Amik Robinson, Kalavon Chasen, Chig Okono, Tim Settle, Nick Cross, De'Ami Brown, Van Jefferson, Foster Sorrell, and Jerome Ford. And I was like, whoa!
Who are those guys?
I don't know these guys.
Holy
No swearing on air.
Shabuzi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dom? What do you mean, who?
Well, half those guys are probably going to get cut before,
Yeah, I
like...
don't know. These
Bro,
sound like a lot of.
Nick Cross is one of the better safeties in the league.
I thought he was a tackle. No, wait,
That's
that
a
was
different
Pat, that was
cross. No,
Pat-
I thought
that
the
was a
same
different
thing.
Cross.
And then I was like, oh, wait, there's different crosses.
Yeah.
The other one's actually really good for Seattle, though.
Yeah.
De'Ami Brown,
Mm-hmm.
great wide receiver 3.
Sure. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's coming home.
Coming home. Chig Okono, you tell me you
Oh
don't know
no, I
Chig?
know who
Yeah,
he
I
is.
know
who
He's,
Chig
he's, a,
Vaughn
tight,
is.
he's
He's
a
played-
tight end. He's been perfectly fine.
Great
throughout his
tight
career.
end.
I don't know if I'd say great. He's been perfectly fine.
Kalavion Chason just came off of a team that went to the Super Bowl.
Well, he was on our team first, and then
Yeah.
we cut him, and he
Yeah.
went on to have a decent season.
Yeah.
But it was
Leo
kinda-
Chanel, bro, you kidding?
I like Leo
Linebacker
Chanel.
one
I like
from
Leo
the Chiefs.
Chanel.
You
Yeah.
know who that is?
No, I know Chanel.
I know
Chanel.
That's good.
It was more the later people in the list.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
I didn't know who Van Jefferson was either.
He's kind
I
of
knew
a
Van Jefferson. He's
Yeah.
definitely. I think
Yeah.
he had better years, like probably like 5 years. ago.
Jerome
Yeah.
Form probably won't.
I just
be.
know Jerome Ford because he's a bit on a podcast I listen to.
Yeah, Jerome Ford will be a depth signing that'll
Yeah.
probably
They're
get cut
signing
during
until
the
they get
year.
sent back to the
Yeah.
podcast.
But
room.
ultimately, you didn't give your free agent or your edge rusher as much money as we gave ours, but I'd still say a decent
Hey, bro,
free agency.
we picked a more team friendly deal.
Sure.
Yeah,
Whatever you got to tell yourself.
Whatever, yeah. I give
He's
it.
a
s-
better edge rusher.
No, I don't think so.
I'll give
Our
you.
edge rusher got paid more money, so that must mean he's better.
That's like saying Patrick Mahomes is better than Bryce Young because he gets paid more.
I didn't say that. I
didn't
say that.
We're not gonna comment on
No,
that.
no.
But
Do you think that Patrick Mahomes is better than Bryce Young? Now?
again, we're not gonna
Well,
comment
Do
on
you
that.
think Kenny
well,
Pickett is better than
Bryce
Patrick
Young has
Mahomes?
2 functioning ACLs
Right now.
so
Yeah,
by
so-
default,
So
yes.
by yes.
You heard it here, folks.
By
Domino and think that Bryce Young is better than
Uh,
Patrick Mahomes.
On Patrick Mahomes on 1 ACL, yes,
Yes,
I do.
he is
Yes, I
better.
do.
He plays.
Mhm.
He plays.
Yeah.
But yeah, I give your offseason a solid 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10,
Yeah, 6 out of 10.
I'll give it a 7.5.
bro. At least an 8.
All right. Well, what are you
Alright,
giving it? A 10?
8 out of 10.
Okay. Well, 7.5 is
You know,
not
we
that
could have.
far off.
I would. It would be a 10 out of 10 if we got either
need a
Juan
receiver.
Jennings or Brandon
You need
Ayuk.
another
Yeah, you
receiver.
need-
We'll
Not
see.
totally sold on Brandon Ayuk yet. I would like to sign him to a
He'll be
1-year
cheap.
team-friendly, prove-it deal. Juan Jennings, I would pay a little bit more for
Yeah.
because he's pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
he's a very
Shifty.
he's a shifty guy.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that would be a good signing there.
But
John
I think
Jones.
it was a solid offseason by the
Yeah.
Commanders. So
Yeah, I
far.
think so too. I think they got younger in the places they needed to get younger, and the
Linebacker.
draft. And the draft is going to help them out a ton.
Yeah.
Like we,
Extended Laramie Tunsil.
Maybe
Yeah.
Tunzel. You trade that.
Finally. He's the most paid.
I know he's getting like $40 million or something a year.
He's the
Kind of
highest
crazy.
paid O-lineman.
Let's say you're paying. You traded for him. You throw that capital out there, so you
Mhm.
got to resign him, and
Yeah.
that's important especially to keep Daniels upright, especially
Yeah.
after this year.
I think Daniels needs to put on another 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
He put on 20 pounds last offseason. Let's do another one. And even when he was healthy, he was still making some pretty impressive plays.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess.
We keep that man healthy.
Yeah, I guess we call Nathan Peterman healthy.
Mm.
Then, yeah. But moving
Miss
on.
Peterson.
No.
No,
not her.
not that
Not
one.
Miss Peterson? Oh,
No.
Oh,
Sorry,
no,
Miss
no.
Peterson.
Sorry, Julian.
Peterman, not Peterson.
Okay.
But let's move on to some of the free agent landings, especially some of these deals here that are kind of outrageous.
Malik Willis to the Dolphins with no weapons?
Should have gone to Arizona,
Should have
Malik.
gone to the
Took in
Cards,
that. You
bro.
should have
got
gone to the
Harrison Jr.
desert. Should have gone to the
I
desert.
mean, he
you
was
know?
probably like, I want the Miami beaches.
You know,
And
if we're
then he
gonna
goes there
suck,
and they trade all of his
Might as
players.
well, you know.
They have been saying they will extend A-Chain, but
So running back,
you can pass to him.
I guess so. That's just like
check downs.
Yeah, sure, something.
Mhm.
But they paid Malik Willis how much money according to
They-
this?
$67
Oh,
million.
Wow.
$100 million,
I
45
didn't even know that.
million guaranteed, fully guaranteed. Yeah.
That's a lot for a quarterback with what, like 5 career
Like
starts? or-
this amount of like
Yeah.
sample size. I mean, come on
It,
now. Like,
it just doesn't seem to be on the same timeline as the rest of the moves the Dolphins are making.
Granted, what we saw out of him was,
Was
very
good.
he was
impressive.
good. No, in those Green Bay
was good.
Packers. I mean, he's going to get a Green Bay Packers head
He
coach.
He has been placed with a lot of the infrastructure, but the roster isn't as good as
No, the
Green
roster is
Bay.
not good. And the thing is, that Packers roster helped them a ton. They had better receivers. I mean, they didn't trade away Jalen Waddle. So,
Mhm.
but no, that would be interesting to see how Malik Willis does, getting the full-time starting position. Obviously, we think that the Dolphins are in the hunt, or was it tank for Arch?
Yeah, I
Tank
mean,
for
well,
Arch, tank for Arch.
they gave Malik at least 2 guaranteed years of money, but I
Yeah.
guess you could always start in front of a rookie quarterback if you wanted to
Mhm.
sit them. But it will be interesting to see how he handles it and if he ends up being worth the money.
Arch Manning, you are a Miami Dolphin.
Or a New York Jet.
Or a New York
The
Jet.
next two signings, actually, we're going to save those
Oh,
for the later
okay.
topic.
Okay.
We're going to go over to Kenneth Walker signing with the Kansas City Chiefs on a 3-year deal worth up to $45 million with $28.7
And
mil
just like
guaranteed.
that, the Chiefs became
I'm
playoff
so, I'm
contenders
so
again.
scared. I'm so
I'm
scared.
actually a little bit
They have a
concerned
run
about this
game.
one.
This
They
is
have a
not
run
good.
game.
Well, they
Yeah.
need to. So what they need to do is reassure their pass rush and their O line. Those
Mm.
are, and the receiving core is not the best. I mean,
Yeah, but you got Patrick Mahomes.
you got Patrick
Who
Mahomes.
is their backup QB and if Mahomes
Is
isn't
it
ready to
is it
start
Gardner
the year?
Minshew?
I
Still?
No,
think
it's
no.
Justin Fields. They
Oh, that's
traded
right.
Oh,
They
that's
did trade for
right.
Justin Fields. So maybe they have another running back.
Two running backs?
Two running backs.
Two running
Starting
backs.
on the same offense? Wow.
I could honestly see that happening with Bieniemy being back at OC.
Yeah.
I could see them.
Don't speak his name around me.
Well,
You're not a me enemy.
Don't
right,
speak
that's
his
right.
end. Don't speak.
I
his
really
name
thought
around me.
Washington would turn the table with
I do
Bieniemy
think
as
it's
OC.
pretty clear that Matt Nagy was a problem there.
No,
'Cause
he
he didn't
was-
even get hired elsewhere. They're just like, oh, your contract expired? Bye.
Fine.
We're
Yeah.
bringing back Bieniemy. Please don't come back. You should really get a head coach job. We say, where? Bye.
I'm surprised Tyreek Hill hasn't signed with the Chiefs yet.
Maybe he
Let's
still
not
will,
speak
but
that into existence.
but I mean,
It
he's
has been rumored. That's
he's
all
got
I'm
one-
saying.
let's
he's
not
got-
speak that into existence.
he's on one leg. He destroyed that leg.
Yeah,
last
but
And
it's
he
the
hasn't been
Chiefs. They
following
got-
his rehab,
Yeah.
from what I've
Yeah.
heard.
They got
Oh,
they got
you got
magic
sources
over in
in this?
KC.
I do.
Okay.
This year was just the
Yeah,
payment.
but
with-
I do think that was a great signing for Kansas City. Going to be a tough out.
tough out. Obviously, Pacheco leaving for Detroit with the David
Yeah.
Montgomery
I mean,
trade.
that's honestly a bit of a downgrade over Knuckles for me.
Yeah. I will say for Houston, they get a starting running back, so they don't have to worry about Joe Mixon. His
Yeah.
weird situation.
Dude, I traded a first for Joe Mixon in Dynasty, and he had one decent year, and then his foot is mysteriously gone. He hasn't played for a whole season.
Oh my goodness.
I have such bad luck with trades.
I also picked, I think, Joe Mixon. I don't remember if it was this year or
Yeah.
last year.
Anyone who picked him last year got
I think it might
nothing.
have been. Yeah. he-
Naughton?
nothing.
Naughton?
Didn't play once.
No,
Give me
didn't
a
play.
cheese with nut.
Nothing.
Naughton?
Yeah.
But keeping it, I guess we'll talk about the New York Ravens over here. Isaiah Likely signing with the.
I was
New
so
York
mad
Giants.
at that, dude.
You really wanted that guy.
I really wanted
until
Likely.
until you signed a
Bro,
Jay.
he's just another receiver.
Yeah, he's a
He's-
tight
and
end.
He's not a tight end. He's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
He signed him as a tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a starting caliber guy.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
good.
he's-
He's good.
It really baffles me that the Ravens decided to pay Mark Andrews over him. Honestly.
Mark
It's just-
dropped the ball.
Oh,
He
yeah,
just
the
dropped
guy
ball
was
into the
so
playoffs,
unclutch.
Andrews.
Cost you so many games, but
Mhm.
ultimately you still decide to stick by him. I do think this is a good signing for New York. I mean, really, you need any weapons you can get for Jackson Dart. So I'm not going to fault Harbaugh for
Absolutely.
using his connections.
And I mean, just like that, low key, New York became
Giants
a little
is
But
very.
then-
scary.
Giants are underrated.
They just
'Cause
had
they
their
got
best player
Malik
request a
Neighbors
trade.
coming back.
Yes.
Sexy Dexy did request a
Yeah.
trade.
Yeah,
I
just-
think that's a contract strategy.
It is,
'Cause
but
Terry
they
requested a
didn't pay
trade,
him
but-
last year either when he wanted a new
They might go
contract.
into the draft maybe getting a replacement.
Yeah.
For Sexy Dexy?
Maybe.
I mean, it could
Can I
be.
say that?
That's
fine.
up to you. I mean,
Sexy, I don't
yeah,
think is a
it's his
bad
nickname
word.
on X.
Sexy Dexy.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I mean,
he's a good D. If he gets released, bro, Washington.
I don't think
I
he'll.
don't
get
think
paid.
they'll release him.
Someone will trade. for
Someone
him.
will trade for him. If not, the
Bro,
Giants
let's
will probably
let's
keep
trade Foster Sorrell
him. He's looking
and
at
Tim Settle
Oh yeah, they're gonna be like,
For-
sure.
for Sexy
Sure,
Dexy.
yeah.
You get two
for a
players
bag
for
of
the price
chips,
one.
basically.
That's like them bad.
We'll give him Van Jefferson too.
That's when people try to offer me like Josh Reynolds and a
Be
bag
like-
of chips in Dynasty for Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
or
that is a Lakers.
Justin Jefferson.
That is a Lakers fan. That, like, I will give you this mid player
That was actually
for
that
Giannis
was actually
Antetokounmpo.
Nico's first offer for Luca.
Well, then again,
before
Nico
Rob
Harris
talked
does not
to
have a
him.
job for that reason. So,
Yeah.
but moving on, I guess we'll talk about the NFC South here. Owen,
Mm.
the bad man is gone.
Yeah.
The
Mike
bad
Evans.
man can't hurt you anymore.
No, he
left.
can't. He
He
can't
can't
burn
hurt
it.
you
Thank
anymore.
God. Thank God.
cannot-
Thank
You can't
God.
cook J.C. Horn anymore.
It's not J.C.
He
Horn.
terrorized me. He
It was
terrorized me.
C.J.
He
Anderson.
terrorized me, and he's finally gone. That man, he ruined our playoff chances.
Now
when
he'll
the
go
one
to
good
the
year
mo-
we had with Sam Darnold. You know.
Now he'll go to the most injury-prone team there is.
Watch out for those electrical substations, Mike.
I'm very convinced that Frisco is where wide receivers go to die.
Yeah.
Because Brandon Ayuk was great, and now
I feel like that's Washington.
I have to say.
Because like he was good in like San Francisco, and then he got traded to Washington, and then
who?
Brandon Ayuk.
Brandon
Oh,
Ayuk
not
is on the
Brandon
49ers.
No, you can't
Whoa,
say that.
Whoa.
You can't say that.
I meant Debo Samuel. So still
Debo is great,
Well,
Oh,
he's fine.
no.
He's fine.
bro. Debo was
He's a little past his prime.
Debo was great, bro. Debo was bowling brothers over. Debo was great. I think we should bring Debo back.
Okay.
Maybe you will. He
Maybe
hasn't
you will.
signed anywhere yet.
But no, but I don't know. I mean, I think
He
for
did
the
have
injury-
5 touchdowns last year.
I think for injury-wise,
727
I
yards.
don't know.
Good stats.
It was just his lowest average yard.
Yeah,
count
but he
of
didn't
his
have a
career.
consistent quarterback
Yeah,
either.
that's true. That's true. But I do think the Bucks are in shambles. I
Oh,
think
the
keeping
Bucks are
Todd
on-
Bowles
on
has
a
really murdered
downfall.
their locker room. And then we look at the Falcons. I don't know what the heck they're doing either.
Yeah, they signed Tua, turned the ball over to a one-year deal. I mean, it's a backup for an injury-prone quarterback.
It's a left-handed backup.
So
they're-
you got Michael
so
Penix
maybe-
and him. The
So
two-
maybe if they combine the two together, they'll get a decent quarterback or mediocre quarterback. Who knows? Maybe
you
they'll-
combine
Like
Michael
Kirkland
Penix's
two
upper
chains.
half
Maybe.
and Tua's lower half.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have a perfect QB.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe not perfect.
Maybe
but-
we'll see if the accuracy
Yeah.
gets better. Maybe it gets like a point better.
Yeah, but the Falcons didn't really move me. I honestly thought besides the Panthers, the Saints
Hey,
had
they
the best
signed
free
Jahan
agency
Dotson.
of the NFC South. I know
The
it's not
Falcons got
enough.
Jahan Dotson.
Jahan
It's not enough.
Dotson.
Former Washington
not
Commander.
enough.
Jahan Dotson. Yeah.
But the Saints signed David Edwards. They signed ETN.
ETN to
They
a
got
deal.
some solid starters.
They got some solid starters. I expect the South to be probably between the Panthers and Saints. I mean, obviously it'll be a
I mean,
toss
who
up.
else is there?
I mean, there's the Falcons and Buccaneers,
But the
but
Bucks are falling
I
off.
think the
Who's-
Bucks.
Who are the Bucks throwing to?
I guess like
Well, they still have
Ibuka.
Godwin and Ibuka.
Yeah.
They
but-
still have it solid, but
They also lost Levante David. To
yeah,
retirement.
that's a thing they're gonna have to overcome.
Mhm.
They're fine at quarterback, but I mean that team overall just feels like they're not moving the needle, especially
Yeah.
with Todd Bowles still being at head coach. And
Whenever
Falcons.
I play Madden story mode, I always get drafted to the Bucks.
I would request a trade. Get
Yeah.
me out of here.
Get me out of here. I don't
Send
want
me
to
to
be.
Carolina.
Where winners win.
But yeah, I guess so. I guess maybe in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean overall, I think the Saints and Panthers really pushed the needle, whereas Bucks fell. Falcons didn't really do anything to impress me.
Yeah.
I mean, when your big notable signing is Tua, that kind of tells you where everything's going. But no. But speaking of departures, we obviously mentioned Rico Dowdle leaving.
I was really hoping he would go to Washington.
I'm sure you will.
That would have been a good pickup. I thought
Yeah.
that Washington would make a bid for him, but I mean, Steelers, they're gonna need basically.
Bro, the Steelers need a quarterback.
They do.
Aaron Rodgers, theoretically.
They honestly don't have a terrible team. They don't.
They just don't have anybody quarterback.
Quarterback wise.
And they have Mike McCarthy here to lead them
That's
to
another-
the new era
that's another-
of Steeler football.
Mike McCarthy. You know, was it replacing Mike Tomlin with another version of Mike Tomlin?
Mike.
Who really
Mike-
likes
Mike Switch.
Pittsburgh.
He likes
Big
Pittsburgh.
fan.
I guess so. Keep it in the roots, I guess. But
Yeah.
like,
So they signed Rico.
mhm.
Who else did they sign?
I mean, obviously they traded for
Oh, that's right.
Michael Pittman to
Pittman.
reassure the offense. They did get some of those Bucks players over, especially on the offensive side. Got some defensive depth, but they can't go too far because their defense is really expensive.
Yeah.
But no, I think the Steelers got better. It will depend on the coach and quarterback. I think they would be good if they started fresh and had a fresh-minded head coach, and then decide to go for a young quarterback. But overall, yeah, that was interesting. But let's talk about the big offseason story, the Max Crosby trade. Yeah,
Trade.
we'll put
The
it in
Max
quotations.
Crosby trade is like when the computer falls asleep and you need to shake the mouse to wake it up again.
Yeah.
But you moved it past the point, and your computer doesn't boot up at all.
And
or
then you pull out of the thing.
you're like,
and
I actually don't want to save this
you
file.
unplug the mouse.
You unplug the mouse and plug it back in and type in the $$
and then
pass,
then
You
the
put
other
in all
guy's
the
like,
paperwork, and
because
then
the
you're like,
timer's not on the screen anymore.
no, the timer's not
and
on
then
the screen.
then you
And
have
then-
to like log into your account, make a post saying like we
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
the
We have decided to back out of the Max Crosby.
Or no,
Dude,
trade.
this-
that was just insane. Because
I didn't know you could do that.
That's
well,
not something you
well,
think
I guess
about.
because the trade was before like everything became official,
Yeah.
so you can do that. Trades can fall through. We saw it with the Chris Paul trade with the NBA a while ago.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
But you can do that when the trade is not officially done, because all those signings on Monday, when free agency became live, none of those people had signed. They just said we are
Agree to terms.
agree to terms, and then they eventually meet up with their organizations, sign the contract. Whereas the Max Crosby trade, they were still doing his physical, and I think it is a scummy move from the Ravens' point of view. I understand, like, some trades, like I think a more recent NFL trade is the Bills trading for Antonio Brown back in like 2019, and that falling through.
Forgot that happened.
That falling through, and surprisingly, the Raiders are somehow in this trade.
Yeah.
And dodged a bullet for Buffalo.
They were offered two.
I think
they
it-
offered two
First round picks, and then the picks, in the amount, I think went down to like a third and fourth whenever the Raiders traded for him. And then for obviously Max Crosby's deal, it's 2 first-round picks, and the Raiders rightfully stood on that. I think they were maybe thinking of a conditional first-round pick.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, they got offered two specific ones. It was just bad luck, and then the Ravens failing the physical, I think, kind of scared off other teams from pulling
I
up
guess
that
so,
much
but
of
like
an
the
offer.
thing is though, Max Crosby's like injuries were known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we knew that man had
Yeah.
like knee injuries.
Knee injuries, and that he probably wouldn't be ready for probably like most of the offseason, but would be probably ready by
Week 1.
week 1. So
He would be doing some off to the side stuff.
I'm
off
just
the
saying.
side.
It's a little suspicious that they signed Trey Hendrickson
Send to
right after they declined the trade. It's just a little suspicious when I think about
a
it.
little collusion.
When
They
I look
did
at my
Dom's
magnifying
gonna
glass.
Pull up the magnifying glass.
Well,
Yeah.
put a little magnifying glass
So,
here.
he claims that they were going to sign both.
They claimed
And
that
I'm
they were
like,
going to
did
sign
you have
both.
the money for that, though?
No.
I mean, they did lose Tyler Lindenbaum to the Raiders. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a funny that I think
What if this was all an elaborate move to get back at the Raiders for signing their center?
I guess so, but even then they still got Max Crosby in their center, so
It could end up being good for the Raiders, but he's got to stay healthy.
he's got to stay healthy,
With
but
Fernando.
Mendoza, yeah, with Kirko, they got
Yeah.
Kirko now.
Oh,
So.
excuse me,
I mean,
guys.
there's free agent signings. I mean, for the most part, they did a pretty solid job. I think the Raiders did for the apparent trade.
Yeah.
I thought they retooled well. Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker.
Yeah,
Dean
the
is
dogs. the
Dean
Georgia
is a good,
Bulldogs.
yeah. Dean is a good pairing there. They got that linebacker core hopefully down.
Yeah.
DN Quiddy Pay was supposed to be the replacement for Crosby. Now they pair him
Well,
with
just
Crosby.
play together.
So that would be interesting. Defense, I think, is going to be pretty good. Offensive wise, there's still some stuff. I think the receiving core is the
Bro,
biggest
paying
question.
$35 million for Jalen Naylor?
Stopgap.
Yeah, I mean that was a lot to give a wide receiver 3 on the Vikings, but we'll have to see how it pays off. I did like
They
a lot of
signed
the Raiders.
kicker
moves.
Matt Gay.
I think that's a bigger
Former
one because
Commander.
Former Washington Commander Matthew Gay?
getting
Was
rid
he
of
okay?
Carlson though.
No.
Oh, well.
I was gonna say getting rid of Carlson.
yeah,
though.
I thought Carlson. was
Carlson,
good.
whose last moment with the Raiders was kicking a game winner against the Chiefs.
That's tough. It's
So
tough.
I don't know
One
about
day
that.
you're on the top of the world, the next year like that. But I do think the Raiders aren't focusing entirely on like fixing it all this off.
No,
it's a good start.
I think the hope is maybe they are pushing for a wild card spot.
Yeah.
I think 8 games. That's what my dad, as a Raider fan, said. Has like, I'm just hoping, 8 wins. That's my ceiling. So
My ceiling is 17-0.
okay,
Wow.
well, that's a tough ceiling.
It's
for
technically
a
your
very
ceiling,
mid
though.
team, but
Let me make it a little bit more reasonable for you. 15-2.
Okay.
15 and
It's
2.
a little more reasonable,
That's
I guess.
slightly
Yeah.
more reasonable. But yeah, I think the Raiders got better defensive wise. It would be interesting to see what their approach is in the draft.
Sure.
Mendoza is sure, unless you're Dan Orlovsky thinking that Ty Simpson is better.
That's not happening.
It's not gonna
Ty
happen.
Simpson didn't go to the Natty and
No.
beat up Carson Beck.
No, he didn't.
Carson
And
Beck went to
literally-
the Natty and
Oh,
he
but
threw
speak-
the
beat up.
He
I mean,
beat up
ham
Carson Beck.
sandwich.
I mean, if anything, Mendoza got beat up, but stood strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be interesting what the Raiders do. I think the Raiders got better. I think the Ravens, trade wise, their relationship in terms of like league notice about trading is not going to be good going forward.
Yeah, but we'll see. During the actual season, I don't think it matters as much.
They're
'cause
going to
you
have
don't
to
that
trade
much
Lamar
time.
for a 5th-round pick to get the credibility back
I guess
to
so.
Washington so he can be a backup for Jaden.
Okay. But moving on to our final segment before we sign off here, we're going to do our social media segment here. We're going to grade these NFL offseason trades, starting with the Bills getting DJ Moore in a trade with the Bears. The Bears get a 2026 second-round pick, where the Bills get, obviously, DJ Moore and
Traded
a
that man for a ham sandwich.
5th-round pick. Yeah.
I'd
Well.
have given DJ Moore for at least the 1st round.
First round. Oof.
I feel like a lot of teams weren't willing to pay that, but I'd definitely give this trade a B+. I think
I
it's a
think-
solid
B+
move
for
for
the
the Bills.
Bills, I'd say for
C- for the Bears.
yeah, I
They
think
don't really have a lot of
I'll give a
receiver
B
depth.
minus for the Bears because they got a second-round pick, and that could
Yeah.
be used maybe to move up.
And
in
they
the
do
draft.
have a lot of weapons. I think they just wanted to get off his contract, really.
And I think for Josh Allen, I think this is an A+ move. If you're thinking for Josh Allen
True.
because he gets a wide receiver. Hopefully,
Keon Coleman is no longer his wide
Mr.
receiver.
Cookies himself.
Nope, not a top target.
No,
You don't like cookies?
I
No,
love cookies, man.
not Keon Coleman.
I just wouldn't get flamed by Cam Newton. about it. but
Dom is eating too many cookies.
he's eating too
Gonna
much
expose
cookies
you.
on
Yeah.
WTS. We're talking about
Yeah.
practice. A little
What?
AI in there.
Lions trading Montgomery to the Texans.
Another one, yeah. Lions
Whoa.
trading for
I
Montgomery.
You split up the best running back duo in the league.
I know Sonic Knuckles. Unfortunate.
It does seem like the Lions' window is kind of maybe coming to a close,
I don't
but
I don't think you get
Back
this
to
reference.
0-17 Lions
No.
form.
No, I don't think you get this reference, but for the Sega Genesis,
Mm.
you had the Sonic 3 video game.
Yeah.
And then they had like a little port. Oh, look, we got a new
lock
backdrop.
on Knuckles.
To lock on Knuckles, and it gives you Sonic 3 and,
And
Knuckles.
Knuckles.
But guess what they did?
They took
They
it.
They
out.
took
So
it
now
out.
you just have Sonic 3.
Just like our thing just went out.
Yeah.
We took it out.
But ultimately, it was a fine trade, I'd say, for the Texans at least. I'd probably give them maybe a B- because I'm not a big fan of giving up a lot of capital for running backs, especially ones who are like good, but I don't know if they're elite. But I still think it was a
I
solid.
think it's a. I think it's bad. I think for the Texans, it's a B. It helps improve that already
I
very.
think David Montgomery will be a running back one. And
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
he'll-
assuming Joe Mixon.
Oh, he's
is still
running back
out,
one on
yeah.
already. I think it just improves their running back status. It should help C.J. Stroud, especially since I think the running back situation last year was not the best,
Mm.
and it kind of hindered. Obviously, Stroud's struggles were more than just the running back room, but that didn't help either.
Next one's pretty big too. You got
Next one is big. We got Dolphins
Bottom of the box.
giving away. Wow, granted they got a first round pick, but to the Broncos, and I think that will probably be one of their draft picks. Will be a wide receiver in
Yeah.
the NFL draft, but for the Broncos, solid. I think Waddle immediately improves that already limited receiving core to you got Sutton.
you had
and-
Cortland Sutton, but he's not really an alpha wide receiver one.
No.
Now you're getting one in the building who's gonna help you. Maybe he
A
can help
fast
you reach
target,
the Super Bowl.
too.
yeah.
I mean that guy is speed. That's
Yeah.
one thing you can say about Waddle.
I'd
is
give
that-
the Broncos an A, but honestly, I'd give the Dolphins probably an
I'd give
A
them-
minus.
D.
A B.
D.
D,
D.
bro.
I'll give them
For
a
a first
I'll give them
round,
a
A first
C.
is
third,
pretty
and a
good.
fourth.
I'll
you
give them
know,
a
like,
C.
get a
I'll give them a
first.
C.
Oh wait, hang on, I read that wrong.
Yeah, they got a first.
They got a first. They got some.
I'll
I'll
give
give
it
them.
A
I'll give them a
minus.
B. I'll give them a B.
Yeah.
They got
I-
some good.
It was a good move for both sides. I just feel bad for Malik Willis.
Then we got the Jets getting Mika Fitzpatrick from
Bro,
the Dolphins.
Minka Fitzpatrick
was
has
a
been
great move.
bouncing around the league.
Yeah,
I will say
he's
for the
still a good
Jets,
player.
I'll give the Jets an A plus.
Yeah, you got him for a
That's a
sixth-round
good
pick.
pick.
Bag of
Solid.
chips.
Bag of chips
for
a
a-
great safety.
For a great safety, for a zero interception team. So
I wish the Panthers had made that deal.
that would have been a good.
I make that
I don't
deal.
know.
I would've made that
That's
deal.
a dang good deal.
Again, a good deal
Yeah.
there for the Dolphins. That's honestly an F.
Mm.
They got rid of another good player.
This is just the byproduct of the Tua thing because they have to get under the salary
guess
cap.
so,
He was
but-
making too much money.
Yeah, they shouldn't have
Yeah.
signed him to that, at least to that contract.
Yeah.
Then we got Steelers for our last trade before we do. Actually, no, we got another Jets trade here before we talk about the Steelers trade. The Raiders giving the Jets Geno Smith.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
I
back.
give that a B for the Raiders. You know, they got him off
Remember
the
we
book.
got in a locker room fight and broke his jaw?
and now he's
I do remember
returned.
that story. Yeah, no.
Now he's
And
back to go get his
he's
lick
back.
Head
back.
coach Aaron Glenn said he's going to lead them to the promised land.
Is that what he said?
He did.
Aaron Glenn said
Aaron
that?
Glenn
He
might
did,
not even
but
be.
Aaron Glenn, you, my friend, are out of a job.
I
We
was gonna
don't
say,
know if the promised land means the #1 pick or a Super Bowl. It could mean either option.
Either
in
way, Aaron
Glenn's
Glenn might
mind.
not make it there. So
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he gets taken to the
the promised land is Cancun.
The
for-
promised land, Cancun, and Arch Manning.
and
Yeah,
getting that
so-
fat, contract for absolutely nothing. That's what Aaron Glenn is hoping for.
Bag of peanuts and some chips.
But ultimately, fine trade for the
For
Raiders.
the Raiders,
Jets,
see, you're not really gaining anything,
Yeah.
but you're also
you're getting them off the book.
you're giving all off the books. And the Jets, I'll
Like-
give you a just let's see.
Yeah, I
Starting
mean,
quarterback, will he be good?
Starting quarterback for cheap.
I don't think. he'll be
At
good.
this point, I think Geno's like a third string.
Yeah. Well.
Well, he's first string for the Jets roster,
Yep.
so
Yep. They said he's their
we
starter.
gotta lower the standards there. It's the Jets. And then our final
Haha, Jets and Saints.
grading here will be the Steelers trading for Michael Pittman. First reaction, I'll give the Steelers a B+.
Yeah, I'd say it's a B-. I mean, I like Pittman, but honestly, he's been slowing down a bit in Indianapolis recently, so I feel a bit of hesitation over giving him this new contract. But he's a solid receiver. Any threat is probably an upgrade over what the Steelers had last year at wide receiver
Yeah.
too. They had old Adam Thielen for part of the year, and
Boy.
he was kind of cooked at that point
Talk about
too.
washed.
But yeah, I think that was a solid trade for the Steelers. I'll give him a C+, honestly, just because I'm not the biggest Pittman fan. For the Colts, I mean that's fine. You gave Alec Pierce all that money. You can't afford to
You
give
can't
Pittman
afford that, and
anymore.
you're obviously paying Danny Dimes
Yeah.
more than just dimes at this point.
Yeah.
Indiana
But
Jones.
Indiana Jones, yeah. What would you, Jake? What would you give this one?
He's really good.
He's really
Think this
thinking
through.
about this.
I'm gonna give it a C plus B minus.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
That's
okay.
fair.
And then
I feel like they might have overpaid for.
might have.
Yeah, for a
It's
guy who could be on the downturn.
It's just
but
that contract.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe Rodgers will love him.
But moving on to an honorable mention before we signed off. Oh, Owen, we got our honorable mention
You
here.
okay
Pan-
there, Alex?
Yeah, I mean Andy Dalton got traded to the Eagles. We got a 7th-round pick. At least it's something.
This
A
is-
plus Dan Morgan. He
A
got
plus
something for a
F
wash
for the
backup.
Eagles. That's
Yep.
how we're gonna finish it
Yeah,
off.
we just had to bring that up.
Just had to
Yep.
bring that up.
Thanks,
But
Dan
Thank you,
Morgan.
Philadelphia. Thank you, Howie Roseman.
thank you, Philadelphia,
for
and
picking up for trading for a player we were gonna cut anyway.
thank you
Yep,
for
yep,
Philadelphia.
We appreciate that.
Yeah,
And thank you, viewers, for watching this beautiful
you,
episode.
viewers, for watching this episode that took us a little bit, but I think this one was pretty much a banger. But we will be back. Actually, we got 2 videos hopefully going to be working. We're going to do a March Madness recap with Alexander Hoffman. He'll be there, and maybe a special guest. Who knows? Then we'll do our mock draft for Mock Draft Monday. We're excited for that.
Mock Draft Monday.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for watching, and as always,
Go
Go
Cats.
Cats.